he says he doesn't know how many people are left.
Really enjoyed their world building. They did such a good job of showing this like post-apocalyptic kind of wasteland of a space that they're in, and also giving us a good idea of like what are the challenges that they're facing. Um, we also get a sense of how things are now by seeing how things were then, which was done through the use of flashbacks. Um, and we see just how different everything was. I thought that the narration was really poetic and well done. It was very thoughtful and like somebody was, reading from a journal. Um, that idea of, he said that they were gone and not dead. He said that they were this and not that. And just these little things, right, that help to create a sense of mystery and intrigue. And I thought that they did a wonderful job. Um, I really want to acknowledge the wardrobe team, the costumes, the set design, the art team, everybody for doing just such a great job of it looking so authentic and so real.
I really liked the poetics of this film and the way that it plays with silence and sound. The music to me was incredibly haunting and beautiful, and it was really interesting to see the dynamics between father and son. I also appreciate that we got to see the world through the way that the son interacts with other people in this film, and I think it raised the stakes when it needed and added also a touch of humanity. I also appreciated that the father's storyline had layers, especially when it came to the death of his lover slash wife. And I think in films like these, those that are sort of set in post-apocalyptic worlds, I noticed that there can be a lot of violence. However, in this film, I really appreciated the way that the violence was either cut with sound to create a whole different effect, or the way that it was cut with images of the mother or other scenes. And I felt like that made it very not easy to consume, but it just had a different effect, which made it feel really layered and nuanced, and gave, I think, those scenes a lot of different meanings. So I thought that I really appreciated the way that that was done. This film was really also just beautiful to watch. The shots were gorgeous, and it was really well acted.
I thought it had a really great sort of approach to both costume design and set design. I thought it did a really great job of, of sort of creating a sense of scale, even though there was clearly not the budget advantages that you would associate with a piece of this type of scale, with post-apocalyptic world, everyone traveling long distances. And I thought that the piece had a great sense of sort of mood and tone that was really carried by the central characters. I thought even though sort of the backdrop of the piece was at scale, the core of the story was very intimate. I felt a lot of conversations around fires, a lot of sort of meditative ideas about a sense of self, and sort of how you create community identity in this kind of environment. And I thought that the piece sort of had a great sense of style, also trying to work emotionally. I thought there was some sequences, especially within the forest with the young woman, that really sort of reflected a more ethereal and spiritual feel to a piece that I thought presented itself as a lot rougher around the edges, sort of like a Mad Max type of conceit. But I thought that it was a good sense of heart that worked well through the performances of the lead characters.
Love the structure of the piece, taking cues from various poems around the concept of a post-apocalyptic world. I love the narrator's voice as the son, so thoughtful and intelligent in the delivery. The chemistry between the father, son, and young girl really worked. You could tell there was mutual care and respect between them. The flashback scenes with the mother really created a sense of then, when things were civilized and happy, and now when things are fearsome and unknown. I love the sound design, especially the constant bird song, the eerie whispers, and the clanging when evil was near. The rough wardrobe and props were so well done, as well as the various rundown locations showing how things would look after massive destruction and war.
I really enjoyed kind of falling into this, like I said, dystopian, world. And I thought the use of the poems interspersed with the actual kind of film itself, with the dialogue and everything, was really, really, really smart and really, really clever. It really furthered the story, but added another layer to it. It wasn't just straight dialogue, it wasn't just straight story. You also had this kind of, like I said, this other layer added to it, which I thought was really, really smart and worked really, really well. I really, really enjoyed that, of, having these moments with these different poems that were interspersed throughout the entire thing, that added to the story and added to the film itself, um, but in a different way. Like I said, it was another layer added into it, which I really enjoyed. I really loved that.
Post-apocalyptic world, we see this relationship between father and son that develops pretty well throughout the film. Also, we have this perspective from the son point of view, but at the same time, the father's intricate background. They come all together in this world that has been destroyed from the war. And it's good to see the difference between pre-war and after the war, thanks to all the flashbacks that there are through the film. So on top of that, the costumes are great, really well done. This is a very high production value, and the pacing, once again, is fast and it keeps you there from start to finish.
So many desolate scenarios. I like the title chapters to complement this end of the world poems. The story of betrayal and the original ways this pair manages to survive. Then we have an unlikely alliance and a story of sacrifice and fight for survival. I like the mystery behind the monsters and the scene with them by the fire, going through the little girl's drawings. It is just a lovely ending. I totally didn't expect that to be a nice ending, just because of the dire nature, but it was beautiful, the music as well, and the performances are totally outstanding.